Welcome to this session on production records for the School Meals Program. I'm Michelle Stevens, a program consultant at Nutrition Services. In this session, we will review the different types of production records and how you will use them daily in your food service operation. The objectives of this training is for you to understand the importance of completing food production records, to learn to use production records to document meal service, and to identify the required items for the completion of the food production records. Production records are required to be completed daily. They demonstrate compliance with meal pattern. They also serve to document the amount of food items that are prepared, sold, and left over each day. And they should be completed by each preparation kitchen. So if your school has more than one feeding site, each site is responsible for documenting the food prepared. If your school provides meals that are served at other locations, but the food is prepared in a central location, then all food prepared in the central kitchen will be documented on that site's production record. Nutrition Services is required to conduct administrative reviews of the school meals program, and production records play an important role in the administrative review process. As I mentioned earlier, they show that you are entitled to receive the reimbursement for the meals you provided. If there are no records, then reimbursement cannot be paid. Make sure the records remain on the school premises. They are the property of the school district. A production record is a tool for you. They provide the information you need for forecasting food production, which can help to make future purchase or planning decisions. A nutrient analysis of menus is a way to determine if menus meet USDA dietary specifications, and production records have the documentation needed to conduct this analysis. Some schools choose to do this on their own, but it is not required as long as you are planning menus that meet the meal pattern requirements. These records provide details about the foods that are prepared and offered for service to customers. They document the food that is served and left over. Schools and residential child care institutes are required to use the production record forms created by Nutrition Services. However, these forms may be modified. The forms are templates, so school districts, of course, can customize them to make them fit the school's needs. You may develop your own customized production record, but this requires approval from Nutrition Services each year. All the forms are available as PDF files and also Microsoft Word format, which allows you to make edits. These are the different types of production records. There is a specific record for breakfast and one for lunch. These templates are used by the majority of Nebraska schools. There is also a multi-day record, which can be used to track items that are set out on a regular basis. The single-day record, which is primarily used for specific food bars, in addition to the regular line, and then delivery tickets are required for schools that get their meals from another school. To keep yourself organized, we recommend using a 3-ring binder. Since the binder will get full during the school year, I recommend a binder for breakfast and one for lunch. At the end of the day, place the most current record on the top in the binder. This will provide quick and easy access to your records. Getting production records completed can be a team effort. Here is a picture I took at a school where they have the production records hanging on clipboards, even with pens attached. The breakfast and lunch production records are copied in different colors. This is an easy way for staff members to record the food items and how much they prepared. So what are the required items you will need to complete the production records? The record is a planning tool, so you will need to record the planned number of meals for the day for both students and adults, the planned menu, and the planned number of portions, serving sizes by grade group. This is all the information that is recorded on the top portion of the production record. The lower half of the record is where you will record the food items used, and information about the food items including whether it was prepared by a school recipe or purchased. If you serve a purchased item, you will need the product brand and number. You will document the total amount of food that was prepared. This can be recorded by number of servings, number of batches per recipe, or by pounds. If your program sells seconds or a la carte items, you will record the amount sold, and the last thing will be to record the amount of unused portions as leftovers. Since the bottom part of the production record is about actual amounts, you will also record the actual counts of meals served to students, adults, and school food service staff. Let's start with the daily lunch production record. Here's an example of the top half of the record, where you record what is planned for the day. Before discussing how to complete the record, I would like to talk about creating a master copy, so you don't have to write the same information every day. This will reduce the amount of writing each day by pre-printing information. The planned grade groups can be customized to match what grade groups you serve. I recommend you make these changes on your master copy. So on this master copy, you can see the highlighted areas in blue: the name of the school, the year, if offer versus serve is used, and for what grades. The top line under the menu is left blank to record the daily entree. And in this example, a deli sandwich and a chef salad are offered every day along with the fruit veggie bar and milk for all grades. The same thing can be done for the breakfast production record. To save paper, you could print breakfast on one side and lunch on the other. This is the bottom half of the daily production record. This is where you record actual amounts of food prepared. On the master copy, you can pre-record information that is served daily. In this example, the other two entrees that are offered are recorded, the sandwich and the chef salad. If the sandwich is different each day, you could leave space to identify the type of sandwich that was offered. In this example, the two entrees have a school recipe, so we can abbreviate that with SR. If a fruit veggie bar is available, you can indicate that on the daily record that these items are recorded on the multi-day form. We will discuss those in later slides. And last, we record the kind of milk we offer each day. Let's go through this example of a completed production record and see what needs to be recorded on a daily basis. Since we have a master copy completed, the first step is to record the number of students and adult lunches planned. The second step is to record the menu for the day. If there is more than one entree, so in this example there are two entrees, a grilled chicken sandwich on a bun or a chef salad, and all the other menu items are included: the green beans, the French fries, watermelon or grapes, and oatmeal cookie and milk. It's important to include all menu items to show that you have met meal pattern requirements. The third step would be to record the number of planned portion sizes by grade group. In this example, since we have two entrees, that shows we're going to prepare 170 chicken sandwiches for grades K through 8 and 70 for 9 through 12, and the serving size is 1 for both. This is helpful information for you when forecasting how many to prepare in the future. And the fourth requirement would be to record the grain requirements that meat alternate, requirements for the day and the week. This is an example of the bottom half of a completed daily production record. The columns are numbered 1 through 5. Column 1 is where you record the food items used. Column 2 indicate if a recipe was used or record the product information. Column 3 record the total amount of food prepared by the number of servings or pounds. And column 4 record the number of seconds or a la carte items sold. And column 5 record unused food or leftovers. So let's take a look at how this is completed. Column 1, meat alternate. Grilled chicken. This was a Tyson product and 275 were prepared, with 15 seconds sold and 5 left over. The chef's salad was a school recipe and 10 were prepared for K through 8 and 9 through 12 both. None were sold, so the space is left blank, and the leftover amount was recorded. Next component is the grains. In this section, indicate if the items are whole grain by recording WG. The whole grain bun was a Sara Lee product, and 275 were prepared, same as the chicken since this was a sandwich. The weight of the bun is indicated, and the leftover amount recorded. An oatmeal cookie was made with a school recipe, and 280 were prepared, with 20 sold and 15 left over. Fruits offered for the day were the watermelon and the grapes. For fresh produce, it's not necessary to reference a brand. The amount prepared and left over was recorded in pounds. Vegetables were green beans and French fries, and notice the amount prepared and left over are recorded in the same unit of measure. This is important to determine the correct amounts used. Milk is recorded in advance on the master production record from a milk recipe that was created at the beginning of the school year based on the percentages used over the course of a week or 5 invoices. This is a time saver because then you don't need to count milks by kind on a daily basis. Other is where condiments are recorded or other items served. Another place to record condiments is on the multi-day form. We will discuss this shortly, but if you do not use this form, then you need to record your condiments on the daily production record. Now let's take a look at the daily production record for breakfast. I recommend you also create a master copy of any information that is offered daily. Make sure your planned grade groups reflect the grade groups you serve. And this may be different for breakfast since generally students are commingled, so a K-12 breakfast menu is planned to meet all grade group requirements. Starting in the menu, there are 2 entree choices. Since these are choices to the students, this is indicated with an or, pancakes and sausage or cereal and toast. If students would be allowed to select both items, they could be just listed as menu items, or an and could be used, like it is with the fruit choices. Assorted juice and fruit, indicating the students may have both. Notice the fruit juice is generic, which is fine. The actual kinds will be recorded in the bottom portion of the record. Some schools offer breakfast bars with lots of choices. If your school does this, you may want to consider using the multi-day form to record all the choices which we will discuss shortly. The multi-day form has room to record a larger variety of items. And cooking temperatures and times are important to be recorded for both lunch and breakfast, for items that are time temperature controlled. Make sure this section is completed. So here is the bottom portion of the breakfast record. And just like lunch, there is a place to record the different components served, product information, and the amount prepared and left over. Notice we have the different kinds of juice listed here, orange and apple, and the types of cereal that are offered, Cheerios and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Grain items that are whole grain rich are indicated with the WG, and the milk recipe can be the same one that is used for lunch. When recording entree portion sizes, be specific how items are portioned out. Some entrees are served different ways. The production record should be clear on how much to serve. Here's an example of different ways to portion out spaghetti with meat sauce. Recording 1.5 ounces or 2 ounces would not be the correct way to record this entree. The 1.5 ounce may mean it credits as 1.5 ounces of meat. This does not communicate to the servers how to serve this item. If I mix the pasta and the sauce, I would record 3/4 of a cup serving size for K through 8 and 1 cup portion size for 9 through 12. If I serve the pasta separate from the meat sauce, I would record 3/4 of a cup of pasta and 3 fluid ounces of meat sauce for K through 8 and 1 cup of pasta and 1/2 cup of meat sauce for 9 through 12. This explains the correct portion size to be served. Other examples of food items that have multiple ways to record are tacos, nachos, and sloppy joes. A best practice would be to have a recipe and have the correct portion sizes by grade group on the recipe and how they credit towards meal pattern. How do you record self-serve items? When students are allowed to serve themselves, on the production record, instead of recording a serving size, you can simply mark SS for self-serve. Here's an example of a school where the elementary grades are served everything. The secondary students serve themselves the fruit and vegetables. When you serve items, show a portion size. This is an example of a single-day food bar form. This is an optional form. And how would you use this form? Let's say you are planning a potato bar day. You are going to allow the students to build their own potato meal. So you will have lots of toppings for them to select from. Instead of using the daily production record, you would use this form to list all the food items that are set out, how much and what was left over. Other meals where you may use a form like this would be a sandwich bar day, a nacho bar day, etc. You may just staple this form to your daily production record if there are other items that need to be recorded there. If this is something you do on a regular basis, you could pre-print the items, then fill in the quantity and the items that were prepared and left over later to simplify record keeping for your variety bars. The difference between this form and a regular production record, there are no portion sizes listed because this is used for self-serve items. Be specific when recording total amount prepared and left over. Now let's talk about how to record food items on self-serve fruit vegetable bars and another way to record condiments. The multi-day form is used along with the daily production record for documentation. Here's an example of the multi-day form. This production record is designed for schools that have an ongoing fruit-vegetable bar. Write in the food items that are used routinely before copying the form. This will save you time each week. The food that is placed on the bar will be tracked over the course of the week. On Monday, record the total amount of all foods prepared. As food items are added during the week, record the amount. On Friday, record the leftover amount of each item and calculate the total for the week. For items that are time temperature controlled, record the time and temperature they are set out. Be specific in the description of food items on the bar. For example, romaine iceberg lettuce mix describes the type of lettuce. There is a column for product information, the vegetable subgroup that is being met, and a place to record the quantity of the food items will be tracked. This is done by unit of weight, volume, or number of servings. In this example, lettuce is being tracked by pounds. So on Monday, 10 pounds is placed in the bar, and on Tuesday, an additional 7 pounds is used. So each day you record how much is placed in the bar, and then at the end of the week, you can total the number of pounds used for the week and how much was left over. Student meal counts are recorded on the daily production record, but if the bar is not a part of the meal service, you would track the number of students that are served from this bar. Most schools have the fruit and vegetable bar as part of their meal service. Here's an example of the multi-day form being used to track condiments. So again, we would recommend that you pre-print items that are set out on a regular basis to save time. So instead of tracking condiments on a day-by-day basis, like is done on the daily production record, the condiments will be tracked by the week. So the first item is ranch dressing, Mrs. Clark's. We're going to track it by the gallon, so on Monday, 2 gallons is set out, and on Tuesday, a half a gallon is set out. And if we look at the end of the week, the total amount of ranch dressing used for the week is 4 gallons, with 1/2 left over. This is an easy way to track condiments over the course of the week, instead of tracking them by the day. But either way works, but condiments should only be recorded in one place. And again, be specific in product description. Example, ranch dressing. Is it regular, reduced calorie, fat-free, or a 50-50 mix? It makes a difference regarding dietary specifications. A delivery ticket is used when food is sent to another location. The delivery ticket serves as a way to document meal pattern requirements and serving sizes to the site that will be serving the food, and also serves as a document for time temperature control for items that are potentially hazardous. When food is sent to another location, a delivery ticket is sent along with the order. On the left-hand side, the ticket records the number of meals sent, the menu, and portion sizes to be served. Staff on site must record the temperature of any potentially hazardous foods and time in the far left column at serving time. On the right-hand side, staff at the location are to record the condiments used that day and any extra food items that were set out along with the amount and the milk recipe for that site. Menu Planning Tool is a resource that can be used to help you plan menus. This is a form that we use during the administrative review. It helps us verify that the breakfast and lunch meal pattern requirements have been met for the week. This may be a helpful guide if you are new to planning menus. The form is optional. It is only required during the week we conduct an administrative review. So how long do you need to keep production records? The record retention for USDA is 3 years plus the current school year for school food service records. The only exception is HACCP records, or food safety records. This is 1 year plus the current school year. Visit Nutrition Services website to access forms, resources, and online training. There are lunch production records available under Forms and Resources. Nutrition Services has a toll-free number of 800-731-2233. On our website, you may find the information for each program specialist in the office. Click on Contact Us to see the individual staff, names, phone numbers, and email addresses. We are available to answer any questions you have or provide one-on-one support for you and your school meal program. Thank you for viewing the Production Records training.